The radical right is becoming a crowded place these days. You've got Nigel Farage, various Tories, and even Tommy Robinson vying to occupy some of the same ground which is to the right of the last Tory government on issues like migration and law and order. But now, a new contender has entered the fray.
The Nazis couldn't cross the channel, but these random men on dinghies seem to cross just fine. Every ship, every plane, every soldier will serve only the interests of the British people. There is no justification for sending men, weapons, or resources to foreign wars when Britain is under siege at home. The military's focus will be singular, the protection of our homeland.
We shall fight on the beaches, we shall fight on the landing grounds, we shall fight in the fields, we shall never surrender. This was their fighting power.
Why? He's talking about taking on the Nazis, the Battle of Britain, but he's just showing the Wehrmacht. What? Andrew Tate, TikTok, and Churchill, that's 2025, people. Yes, Andrew Tate is hoping, or so he says, to follow in the footsteps of Winston Churchill and become the UK's next Prime Minister. Launching his political party, the self-proclaimed Top G said this: "Yes, BRUV, the Britain Restoring Underlying Values Party will restore the once great Britain. As leader, I am held fully accountable. If the plan is not in action within 45 days of power, I will step down from leadership. No delays, charter. Below, join the movement." I'm not going to share the link. So let's have a look at that charter. The heavily AI-dependent manifesto begins with this mission statement. Look around you. Look at what we've become. A nation, as he's saying, look around you. What, he's looking at his home in Bucharest, under house, I don't know. A nation that once ruled the waves, that stood as the beacon of strength and freedom, now cowers under its own shadow. Our streets are dangerous, how would you know? Our borders are wide open. And our culture? It's being eroded. This isn't the Britain our ancestors fought for. This isn't the Britain they died for. And this cannot be the Britain we leave to our children. They deserve what brave men died for. They deserve what you've struggled for. We must end the generational failure. Included amongst Tate's policies is what he calls harsh migration control, pledging both an end to small boats arriving in the UK and a start to mass deportations. Tate also wants a 24-hour BBC channel dedicated to live streaming knife crime offenders in solitary confinement. And there are plenty of other policies designed to attract the radical right too. Banning what he calls LGBTQ+ propaganda from schools? Check. Restructuring the BBC, which would take its reporting from X? Check. Making the Union flag compulsory on all streets? Yes, check. But there are also some ideas that would probably find traction with the wider electorate, like making parliamentarians do some actual work. Image on the right, of course, generative AI. Did you know that over 30% of MPs fail to meet basic attendance standards? These are the people meant to lead us, to fight for us. They're not even showing up. It's simple. You don't show up, you're out. MPs will work for the people, not their paychecks. I mean, they should work for the people, but they do need to be paid. Weekly referendums powered by blockchain will give every Briton a voice on the issues that matter most. I don't want a referendum every week. One every 20 years is fine. We're not just taking back our borders, we're taking back our democracy. Tate also takes aim at the failure of successive governments to uphold national infrastructure like schools and high streets, though he says he'd cut foreign aid to pay for that modernisation. Other ideas are very on brand. He promises a specific curriculum for boys, one that includes compulsory boxing and wrestling, to build, quote, warriors, not warriors. The connection isn't totally clear, but he also seems to suggest that some of those warriors would then serve as licensed armed protection for the rich in London. So the new curriculum under Andrew Tate would help assist the formulation of private militias. Now, Tate launched his party on Monday. Less than 24 hours later, a very much manifesting Tate posted this: 1 week into 2025 and I've conquered British politics, alongside making the usual $10 million a week. What have you done? Winners win. Attack life and never give up. It's amazing how quickly you can win if you finally try.
I mean, the timing here seems kind of obvious, right? He thought he wants everyone now who is a kind of nutty far right person wants to get the patronage of Elon Musk. So he saw that, Elon Musk no longer likes Nigel Farage. Maybe there's $100 million that some other far-right nutcase can try and attract from the richest man in the world, who also seems to be very emotionally unstable. So I assume that Andrew Tate launching an AI-generated party, all those AI-generated images, looks like it could have all taken sort of a morning, was a bid to try and get his hands on some Elon Musk money. As far as I understand, I haven't really seen much of a relationship between Elon Musk and Andrew Tate. Although clearly, I mean, if Elon Musk is willing to throw his lot in with Tommy Robinson, and Andrew Tate shouldn't be beyond the pale. But yeah, this seems to me to be a bit of an exercise in trying to grab the attention of the world's richest man, which I suppose isn't a completely, makes sense if that's your grift. I think that's what's going on here.
Yeah, that comparison with Tommy Robinson's interesting. I mean, Tommy Robinson and Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate's like a pure gem Tommy Robinson, right? Less cocaine, more creatine. But they seem relatively interchangeable for me. Also, I do find this not funny, because it's not funny at all, actually. Andrew Tate is talking about grooming scandals, exploitation of children, mass sexual assault against children. Of course, he is presently facing charges relating to sex trafficking. I would humbly submit he's probably not the right person to be talking about those kinds of issues.